Hey, in today's video I'm sharing some new information about the Instagram algorithm and how it's been updated for 2022. So if you're wondering how to gain followers on Instagram in 2022 and beyond, and how the Instagram algorithm works, you're in the right place, because we're going straight to the source for all this information, and that is Instagram itself. By the way, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Jay, and I'm the creator of 11th Street Studio Influencer Agency. If you'd like to learn how you can join our private influencer community to partner with brands that are looking for influencers, click the link below this video to get on our influencer VIP email list. And if you'd like to learn about all of our e-courses for influencers, including how to monetize your Instagram profile, price your rates as an influencer, how to get brand deals, and how to negotiate brand deals, click the link below this video to check out our members area, where you'll find all of the e-courses, a massive resource library, and a community of influencers that you can connect with inside the members area. And by the way, as a member, you get to access everything I just mentioned for a low monthly membership fee. And that's because it's important to me that the information is available and affordable for everyone, meaning you'll never have to pay hundreds of dollars up front to access all of our e-courses. So go check that out if you want to learn more. Now, with that said, if you are currently enrolled in the members area, you'll find this information inside the first e-course, #influence, within Unit 3, Lesson 3. But I feel like it's important to include here on YouTube too, because it's information, like I said, that Instagram has released specifically to help people everywhere clearly understand how the algorithm works, because there's a lot of misconceptions floating around. So yeah, the head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, essentially spilled the tea on all of this. But if you don't follow him on Instagram or read their blog, you may have missed it. Okay, so get ready, because this video is long, but that's because it's packed with information on how to grow on Instagram in 2022 and beyond. So make sure you watch the entire video. So let's dive in. Now, I just want to start by saying that growth on Instagram is still possible. Is it as easy as it was years ago? No, absolutely not. But it is possible, even without sharing reels, although that's obviously a quick way to gain followers. But the information I'm sharing today will essentially help you understand how to grow on Instagram, because he explains exactly what Instagram considers relevant when placing content in specific feeds, like Explore, where people can then discover and follow you. So before I share all the information, I think it's important to mention that one of the best ways to gain new followers on Instagram without posting reels is to do everything you can to get your posts to the Explore page, right? That pretty much goes without saying, because that's where people can discover you and your profile, and from there, follow you. And what I love about the information that Adam Mosseri shared is that once you understand how your posts make it to the Explore page, you can set your future posts up to get there too. And that's when you'll start to see a steady incoming stream of new followers. You know, or you could share more reels, but I get that not everyone is up for that. So is it ideal? Yes. But again, not everyone is up for it. So let's chat about the algorithm so you can understand how Instagram's algorithm really works. Because once you understand it, everything will make a lot of sense going forward. So let's dive in, because if you're trying to gain followers on Instagram, it's honestly a lot easier than you might think. And trust me, Instagram is not out to get you. They actually want users to stay on the app because the more they do, well, the more Instagram makes money. So keep that in mind. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna go straight to the source. Instagram's blog, where Adam Mosseri, the head of Instagram, published a post explaining exactly how Instagram's algorithm works. Also, I'll put a link to it in the description box below this video if you want to read it for yourself, because I'm really only going to be covering the highlights in this video. So in the post he says, it's hard to trust what you don't understand. We want to do a better job of explaining how Instagram works. There are a lot of misconceptions out there, and we recognize that we can do more to help people understand what we do. Okay, so first he talks about the algorithm. He says, one of the main misconceptions we want to clear up is the existence of the algorithm. Instagram doesn't have one algorithm that oversees what people do and don't see on the app. We use a variety of algorithms, each with its own purpose. We want to make the most of your time, and we believe that using technology to personalize your experience is the best way to do that. Okay, so if you remember back to 2010, when Instagram first launched, your feed was a single stream of photos in chronological order. But as more people joined and more images were shared, it became impossible for people to see everything, let alone all the posts they cared about. Adam says by 2016, people were missing 70% of all their posts in feed, including almost half of the posts from their close connections. So we developed and introduced a feed that ranked posts based on what you care about most. Each part of the app, Feed, Explore, Reels, uses its own algorithm tailored to how people use it. People tend to look for their closest friends in stories, but they want to discover something entirely new and explore. We rank things differently in different parts of the app based on how people use them. Okay, so that's helpful to know, right? So just remember, Feed, Explore, and Reels each has its own algorithm. That's key. So Adam goes on to explain how Instagram ranks Feed and Stories content. He explains that Feed and Stories are where people look for content from their friends and family and their favorite creators. And he goes on to break down this ranking algorithm step by step. He says, we start by defining the set of things we plan to rank in the first place. With Feed and with Stories, this is relatively simple. It's all the recent posts shared by the people you follow. There are a few exceptions, like ads, but the vast majority of what you see is shared by those you follow. Next, we take all the information we have about what was posted, the people who shared those posts, and your preferences. We call these signals, and there are thousands of them. They include everything from what time a post was shared, to whether you're browsing on a phone or the web, to how often you like videos. So the most important signals across Feed and Stories that Instagram looks at is information about the post. These signals include how popular a post is. So think how many people have liked it, and information about the content itself. So when it was posted, how long it is, if it's a video, and what location, if any, was tagged in it. Another signal they consider is information about the person who shared the image or video. He says that this helps Instagram get a sense for how interesting that person might be to you, and includes signals like how many times users, meaning you, have interacted with that person in the past few weeks. Another signal they consider is your activity. Okay, so here he says that this helps us understand what you might be interested in, and include signals such as how many posts you've liked. And another signal they consider is your history of interacting with someone. He says this gives us a sense of how interested you are in seeing posts from a particular person. An example is whether or not you comment on each other's posts. So yeah, they take this pretty seriously because that's a lot of signals for Instagram to consider before even showing you images or videos from people you follow. He goes on to say that from there, we make a set of predictions. These are educated guesses at how likely you are to interact with a post in different ways. And there are roughly a dozen of these. In Feed, the 5 interactions we look at most closely are how likely you are to spend a few seconds on a post. Comment on it, like it, save it, and tap on the profile photo. The more likely you are to take an action and the more heavily we weigh that action, the higher up you will see that post. Okay, well that explains why posts from users that you've personally liked and saved and shared and commented on in the past consistently show up at the top of your feed. He also says that there are exceptions where we try to take other considerations into account. One example of this is where we try to avoid showing too many posts from the same person in a row. Okay, so I think it's safe to assume that's why users who share a lot of images all at once notice lower reach, right? Because no one, especially Instagram, likes spam. So he just said right there that posting a lot of images at once will not increase your reach, but essentially decrease it because they avoid showing too many posts from the same person in a row. Next, Adam explains how Instagram ranks images in the Explore feed, which is great because Explore was designed to help you discover new things. He says the grid is made up of recommendations, so photos and videos that we go out and find for you, which is very different from feed and stories, where the vast majority of what you will see is from the accounts you follow. So here he explains that, like with your feed, to find photos and videos you might be interested in to show you, they look at signals like what posts you've liked, saved, and commented on in the past. So let's look at an example here. Pretend for a minute that you consistently like images from Sarah's account, Salty Lux, who is a popular travel influencer. Instagram then considers who else likes Sarah's photos. And then they consider what other accounts those people are interested in. So for example, maybe people who like Sarah's account are also into Kiki's account, the travel influencer behind the Blonde Abroad. In that case, the next time you open Explore, Instagram might show you a photo or video from the Blonde Abroad's account and accounts similar to hers. Meaning, if you're interested in tropical travel accounts, and who isn't, you might see images about related topics like luxury travel or travel destinations in, say, Europe, for example, too. He also says that once we found a group of photos and videos you might be interested in, we then order them by how interested we think you are in each one, much like how we rank feed and stories. The best way to guess how interested you are in something is to predict how likely you are to do something with the post. Okay, so keep this in mind because remember, the goal here is to reverse engineer this so you can learn exactly how to get more eyeballs on your account. So he says, the most important actions we predict in Explore include likes, saves, and shares. Okay, I'm gonna repeat that because that is, in my opinion, key. The most important actions we predict in Explore include likes, saves, and shares. Remember that. He then says the most important signals they consider are, well, pretty similar to what I mentioned earlier. First being information about the post, meaning how popular a post seems to be. These signals include how many and how quickly other people are liking, commenting, sharing, and saving a post. He says these signals matter much more in Explore than they do in Feed or in Stories. Okay, so this is important. What he's saying is that images and videos that appear in Explore make it there because they received a lot of attention quickly. So within minutes of clicking share, these images and videos got a lot of likes, comments, shares, and saves. And that tells Instagram that the content is popular, and to essentially boost it right on over to the Explore feed, where more people can discover it too. Okay, if there's anything you should take away from this video about growth, in my opinion, it's that. All right, next he says they consider your history of interacting with the person who posted the content. Most likely the post was shared by someone you never heard of, but if you have interacted with them before, that gives us a sense of how interested you might be in what they shared. Okay, so what I think this means is maybe you previously liked an image in the Explore tab, but didn't follow the account. In that case, they may show you more images from that account in the Explore feed in the future. Next, he says they consider your activity. These are signals like what posts you've liked, saved, or commented on, and how you've interacted with posts in Explore in the past. And after that, Instagram considers information about the person who posted, which he explains are signals like how many times people have interacted with that person in the past few weeks to help find compelling content from a wide array of people. Okay, that covers the Explore feed. Next, he explains how the Reels algorithm works. So he starts by saying that Reels is designed to entertain you. So just like with Explore, the majority of what you see is from accounts that you don't follow. He says, so we go through a very similar process where we first source Reels we think you might like, and then rank them based on how interesting we think they are to you. With Reels though, we're focused on what might entertain you, he says, with an eye towards smaller creators. Important things to consider here are how likely you are to watch a reel all the way through, like it, and check out the Reels audio page. He continues to say that the most important signals, roughly in order of importance, are your activity. We look at things like which Reels you've liked, commented on, and engaged with recently. These signals help us to understand what content might be relevant to you. So I imagine this means, like with Explore, if you've previously liked, commented on, and engaged with travel reels, for example, in the past, well, I think it's safe to assume that Instagram will show you more travel reels from other creators in the future, right? Because if someone is motivated to watch a reel from start to finish and like it and comment on it and share it or save it, well, that's a really good indication they enjoyed it. So it makes sense that Instagram would show them similar content in the future. Because remember, Instagram's goal is to keep people on the app. So clearly they're going to try to always show users content they predict people will love, not reels that make users want to exit the app, right? And that is why I always encourage people to only share really, really amazing, high quality content, because you definitely don't want to be the creator that causes people to exit the app. I feel like that's a surefire way to signal to Instagram that maybe your content should rank lower in the feed in the future. So by all means, try to always share content that is either high quality or really, really engaging, because you want people to stop scrolling when they see it and take at least one, if not more, actions with your content. So, for example, like it, save it, share it, etc. Not scroll past it. Okay, back to the signals. Next, he says Instagram looks at your history of interacting with the person who shared the reel. Like and explore, it's likely the video was made by someone you've never even heard of. But if you have interacted with them previously, that gives us a sense of how interested you might be in what they shared. After that, they consider information about the reel. These are signals about the content within the video, such as the audio, video pixels and frames, as well as its popularity. And then they consider information about the person who posted the reel. He says that Instagram considers an account's popularity in order to discover compelling content from a wide array of people and give everyone a chance to find their audience. Now, this next piece of information is especially important, so listen closely. He goes on to say they do occasionally avoid recommending some reels, and for specific reasons, such as low resolution or watermarked reels, to name a few. So I think it's safe to say that videos with, say, TikTok's watermark won't rank as highly as those that are created, or at the very least uploaded without a watermark in Instagram itself. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, now on to shadow banning, because he did address that in the post too. He says that people often accuse us of shadow banning or silencing them. And again, you can read the entire post for clarification, because I'm not going to reiterate it all here, but he says that people consider their posts getting fewer likes or comments as a form of shadow banning. He explains that Instagram can't promise that you'll consistently reach the same amount of people whenever you post new content. The truth is, most of your followers won't see what you share, because most of them look at less than half of their feed. Okay, so does shadow banning exist? I mean, I think in a way yes, and I think in a way no. I think what people mean when they believe their post has been shadow banned is that it doesn't get the same reach as their previous posts. And that's normal, right? Your post reach will fluctuate. But I think what people fail to realize is that there are a lot of really skilled creators out there, and that's who you're competing with. So if you really want your posts to get the maximum reach possible, you need to think about what Instagram is looking for in posts that are shared. Things that they consider are green flags, so to speak, that result in them ranking those images or videos high in users' feeds. And that's all the signals we just covered. Meaning the high quality images that get a lot of engagement quick, and the most entertaining videos that people watch from start to finish and get a lot of engagement are most likely to be ranked highest. So by all means, always aim to share that kind of content in order to improve the chances of your posts reaching the maximum number of users on the app. We'll get into this a lot more at the end of this video, so keep watching. Okay, so this is all important information because he's essentially telling you what to do to get more eyeballs on your content by explaining exactly how content is ranked, shown, and moderated on Instagram. Okay, so to end this video, there are a few things that you can do to improve your chances of getting your images to the Explore feed and your Reels to the right audience. And that is to hyper-focus on a niche. I mean, this really goes without saying because he literally says that Instagram shows users more of what they literally like and save and share and comment on. So if you are sharing images and videos within a clear niche, well, you're essentially golden because Instagram will share your images and videos with people who are interested in similar content and follow other people in your niche. And on the flip side, if you are sharing images and videos from a variety of niches like food and travel and fashion, well, Instagram isn't quite sure whose Explore feed or Reels feed to place it in for new people to discover it. And that's not ideal for growth. So hopefully that makes a lot of sense, because if there's one thing that I stress again and again and again, it is to choose a niche. And this is a perfect example as to why. And after that, make sure the content that you share is likable, savable, shareable, and worth commenting on, and fast. Because here's the thing. When you share an image or video, it's first shown to a small group of people that follow you. So, for example, maybe 25% of your followers. If the majority of them engage with your post and quickly, well, you're golden, because then Instagram will show it to more people that follow you. So, for example, maybe 25% more of your followers. And if they too engage with your post and quickly, well, that's great for you, because this cycle just keeps repeating. And eventually, as long as people continue to engage with it and quickly, it has an excellent chance of making it to the Explore feed, where, you guessed it, new people can then discover it. And then, voila, you suddenly get a steady stream of new likes and comments and saves and followers. And then you get a steady stream of new followers. Okay, well, that sums up this video. Hopefully this information really clarifies things for you. Did you know that Instagram had so many different algorithms? It really does make a lot of sense when you really think about it. But what's important to remember is that, yes, Reels has its own algorithm, and so does Explore. So if you're hesitant to make Reels, but still want to grow on Instagram, you can. Just make sure to share content that keeps people on the app and that causes them to engage and quickly, in order to get to the Explore feed, where new people can discover your images and follow you. Okay, that's it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you think of all of these algorithms. I'd really love to hear your thoughts. Also, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you have any questions about this topic, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them as quickly as possible. And of course, if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so that you don't miss any future videos. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.